guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this topic, you guys, I wanted to talk to you guys about leaving the narcissist before, things get worse. Leaving the narcissist before things get worse. What do I mean by that? I mean, if they're hoovering you, if these people are in your life and you feel like, you feel like their personality so well that you almost believe that by dealing with them and knowing how to deal with them where there's not going to be like a lot of conflict, you believe that, you'll be able to maintain that relationship. One thing about, leaving before things get worse, that I wanted to really specify is that this is a person who thrives on people's pain, right? This is a person that enjoys, the pain of others. They don't empathize with others. They think it's almost like a joke. It's funny. And a lot of times the reason they feel this way is because they believe they're smarter than a lot of people, because they feel like they've went through more things than you. And, you might have went through the same things, but you still might have not had the realization of what life is really about. You were probably still living in that haze, in that fog where, when people come into your life, you automatically believe that, people are just being themselves and they're going to be themselves until, they give you a reason to see them or view them differently. And when people usually do that, right, when you usually find out who that person really is, they usually get mad, they become offensive, they turn on you, and you almost feel like you have to fight for that friendship. You have to apologize, and there's no reason you should apologize, because when someone is showing you who they are, that's really who they've been the whole time. Before you go literally to hell with these narcissists, you live in this world where you literally want to give people a chance. If you meet someone and they're extra nice, you're just like, I really like her. I've came across people who literally have done things to me in the past, and I was able to forgive them for those things. And, even when you forgive like a narcissist and you're nice to them again, to them, it's like, oh, this person's nice. I can walk all over them. They're not, I can trust them, and, I remember telling someone, because people think you're naive because you're nice. That's the thing about, being an empath. People think you're naive, or they think that you wouldn't do anything back to them, basically. And that's what they like about you, because they're like, I can trust you. I can trust you with my money. I can trust you with my things. I know you won't do anything to me. When people say certain things to you, you're not really reading between the lines. And when you don't read between the lines, this person is taking your energy and they're literally laughing and smiling inside. So when you do not let people know right there and then what's going on, what they're going to do, they're going to gossip about you. They're going to tell others what they've done to you in the past and how you're still around and how you still forgive them. The narcissist is a person that loves to gossip. And I wanted to make this video, because one of my subscribers had told me that, if you're here and you're listening to this video, you can leave a comment down below. But basically her narcissist, used to talk a lot. They talked a lot with their guy friends on the phone. A lot of the male narcissists, they despise women, but they love men. Like, they gravitate to men. That's all they think about is, I just want to do stuff with my boys. I just want to talk to my boys. I just need, the opinion of my boys. I need my flying monkeys, like they'll talk to you for hours, on the phone. And a lot of times when they're talking to these people, they're talking bad about people. They're talking bad about others, how dumb, how stupid they are, or they're making themselves a victim. And you notice that while you're with them, especially, this in my experience when I was with this person, if you could even call him that, he used to talk to like his brother a lot. So he spent like as soon as he woke up in the morning, he would call his brother and they would just be on the phone for hours. So the narcissist could be doing really, really bad. And they'll talk about other people and they'll tell you after they're done talking to about these people, that they're different from them, that they're smarter than them, that, they're just lucky because they have people on their side. But you'll be that person supporting them for years. You'll be that person that's their friend. Then you see them wake up and, they go straight to the phone to talk to, whoever. And you're thinking to yourself, like, how can you say you don't have anything or anyone when you have, at least two people in your life that are pushing you, and who have even gave you opportunities, and you were so selfish that, you took good opportunities from that person. You betrayed that person time and time again, yet you're portraying yourself to other people like you're the victim. And what I noticed about a lot of narcissists is that, they never stop talking about you. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought about just how that narcissist used to talk to his brother for hours, and how I said one of my subscribers had actually said something about that. And that's what made me remember, right? I realized growing up in this narcissistic family that I have, everyone would gossip. Like everyone would go in the kitchen, everyone's eating and, sharing food. And as soon as they're done gossiping, everyone goes to my grandmother's room and everyone's laying around her bed and sitting around and, talking and laughing. And I used to think those were good moments when I was little, and I used to watch everyone happy. And as I got older and I started to realize, like, they're only happy because they're gossiping, and that's what they're happy about, basically. Like, they don't really speak about positive things. And if positive things happen, it's because they're thinking, I did something wrong to someone. Now let's go pretend to be nice and drop them some flowers. Like, that's literally how they used to think. And when I started to realize their abuse, I thought, I was going nuts until one of my grandmother's tenants, which my grandmother is a very, religious person, and she basically only rents to people who are from her church or connected to her church some way. And they called her out on that. They called her out on how she gossips, because in church, she's a different person. So when they would eat, drink coffee together in the morning, that's all she did was gossip or talk about other people and then put Bible scriptures along with it. And that person, realized that, and they called her out on that, and everyone jumped down his back, which was just a little bit amusing for me, because my grandmother used to gossip to this tenant so much to the point where they started to disrespect me because they thought I was something that I wasn't. When I was like 16, 17, and I decided to leave. And to not only leave, but stay away from them. Like, they were sucking the life out of me to the point where I was like, I never want to see these people again. So when I turned 18, I literally didn't speak to my family for 2 years. So when I turned 18, they bought me a car. I already had a car, but they bought me like a brand new luxurious car. And, in the moment, I'm 18 years old, so I'm thinking, I have a new car. Like, I can't be mad at my family, And I remember going back, and when I went back, that's when I met that narcissist, and eventually I ended up getting in this really bad car accident. It's like, this narcissist was giving me all this negative energy. My car was totaled, like, I'm talking about smashed all the way in. I'm really surprised I lived. I did have like a minor concussion, but there was no empathy from no one. Like, no one wanted to take me to the hospital. No one cared about me or my well-being or nothing. It was just gossip about my car being crashed and how much my car cost. But when my cousins had, Mercedes Benz and, Mercedes trucks and all type of things, and they got into accidents, they showed concern, when their kids, did things to put themselves in bad situations. They forgave them. If their car was crashed, they would go and get them a new one, a better one, or they would let them borrow their cars. They'll have multiple cars. But when it was me, I was basically out of luck. I was walking. I was on my own. I had to do everything on my own. Now, when I realized the hate was real was when their kids would get into trouble or get into, start doing things, like really nasty things that, worldly things, and I'm not judging them. I'm not judging anyone. I don't judge any of my family. The thing is, when other people are doing crazy things, like getting pulled over by the cops, for weapons, for guns, for, your kids, your daughters are having sex with different men, and they're on the street and they're getting tattoos on their face and they're doing all this crazy stuff that they basically project it on me, but it really happened to them just for gossiping about me. And when I call them out on it, they actually get mad. The focus was always on me. The gossip was always on me. And I was simply someone trying to get my life to be better. There were times where people would say things about me like, oh, she's going to end up like pregnant and alone and things like that, like crazy things. And then it would happen to their kids, like everything they gossiped to me about, it would happen to their kids. And now thinking back, even when they didn't have empathy towards me, towards what the narcissist did to me in my life, the narcissist that I was in a relationship with, they had no empathy. When it happened to them or their husbands divorced them, there was still no empathy there for me. It was still like, let's gossip about her. And that's what made me realize these people are really like the Walking Dead. When I left the family again, the second time when I was 21, I left, never came back when I turned 21. And I remember telling myself, like, I'm never talking to them again. This is before I knew what narcissism was. I just knew that something was wrong with these people and I had to leave. I didn't know anything about the terminology. I just knew that people were trying to make me feel crazy, and I knew I wasn't, because people didn't view me the way my family tried to view me. But then I would come across people that were exactly like my family, and they would view me like them. And then I started to realize, like, oh, this is how people are. I realized that I couldn't talk to these people at all, because anything that they knew about me, it was giving them something to talk about. It was to the point literally that, they were calling people around me to get information about me. So they would call people around me and they would basically, just ask how I'm doing. Oh, how's so-and-so doing? Oh, that's good. I just wanted to know how she's doing. And it was literally not to see how I was doing. It was to see if that other person would start talking about me. And it's kind of funny, because if you do go back and it's not really because you're hurt or you're attached to these people, but sometimes you're like, well, I've forgiven what happened, I'll let it go. And you'll go back and they know what they've done to you. So they're thinking that you're coming back to be malicious, and you're just there because, you've forgiven these people. And they'll start making up lies to you because they want you to lose control so bad. They want you to attack them so that they can feel relieved from the pain they've caused you. They want to transfer it back to you so bad. And when it's not working, it irritates their soul. They are not apologetic. They'll continue gossiping about you. And I used to think to myself, because I had a couple of people in my life, like cousins, and I had one cousin and an aunt that I was really close to. And when everyone betrayed me, neither one of them, I was really close to them. They actually knew the real me. And when I separated myself from everyone, they never reached out to me. They never said anything to me, but they all kept track, of what I was doing. And, when they started, I started to think to myself, like, when I left, I used to think to myself, well, now I hope that everyone is happy. Because, now they don't have anyone to talk about anymore. So, I hope everyone is happy now. And my inner self told me, I remember my inner self actually told me, like, no, they're going to find someone else to pick on. They're going to find someone else. My inner self really told me that. And like I said, this was before, I knew about, the terminology. And I remember thinking, like, but who will they pick on? Who? And the people that I was close to in the family that I didn't even speak to anymore, those were the next targets. And they didn't care if those were their own children. They don't care if that was their own sister. They didn't care. They were just happy they just needed someone else to target, if that makes sense. And because I connected with those people, and I think I connected with them because they had a little bit more empathy than everyone else, but they were also running around with the narcissist. This is why I say you have to detach yourself, because they're going to come after you eventually. Like, if you're watching them bully other people, and they're going to come after you eventually, because you become a flying monkey to them. Because in the narcissist's mind, you have to understand that they don't care about anyone, literally anyone. So when you're playing the game, any game that they're playing, to them it's like, I created all of this with my gossiping. I created this, I made it bigger than it should be, and you're jumping in, and I actually know I created this drama. So when you're jumping in, they don't respect you either. It's kind of like, when a narcissist mother has their back. It's just that person cares about them. So it doesn't matter what they do, to them. To them, it's not wrong. To them, it's like, even if it's wrong, I still care about you. I might tell you not to do it again, but I know that you might not change your behavior because you're a narcissist and I can't control you, So, by you doing that, or by their parents doing that, or should I say, or the people around them doing that, they're not understanding that they're going to get karma for staying around those people, because all the narcissist is doing is creating drama. So the only thing that you can do if that person does not want to change is to separate yourself from that person, because if you don't, then you're going to be receiving that karma as well. And sometimes you just don't want to believe these people are that wicked, but they're under a spell. They can't even snap out of it. So, what I realized is that they went and they started attacking other people in my family. And these were the same people that I was the closest to in my family, which I found kind of odd. And now, after all of that, one of the people that got bullied, reached out to me, and basically now they understood everything I went through, and they understood it in a deeper level, because it was happening to them now. Now they were going through it, but I've moved on with my life. I've made peace with my past. I'm not when I hear about my past or my family and things like that, it's like, it kind of like, I think about like when I think about my family, I think about my past life. Like, it doesn't even feel real to me. It's like, oh, I remember that story. But, that chapter, it came to an end a long time ago, That's how I look at it. And the only reason I look at it that way, where I don't view them as family, even when I visit, when I went and I saw them the last time, just because I wanted to really see if, my family would treat me the same after years, right? You just want to see sometimes. You think that people change, but that's our problem. We keep thinking they change. And I remember they started an argument, and one of my aunts told me, "You're not even part of the family anymore." And no one else said anything. And I was thinking to myself, like, that was very harsh, right? Like, I'm not part of the family, but my inner self told me, like, you're right. You're not part of the family. And when I was looking at them, they look like strangers. Like, it was like, I know you guys, but you guys are, it's like you guys are still in the same movie, and I'm not in that movie anymore. It's like you guys are replaying yourself like a tape, and even though there's new characters, you guys are still playing the same role. And it looks like you guys are going crazy. Like, it looks like you guys are losing your mind from playing the same role. So then when you view the narcissist that you're in a relationship with and they're losing their mind, and you're thinking, why is this person so abusive, aggressive, and I haven't done anything to them? That's because they're literally out of their minds. Like, they're out of their minds. And after being with them, you'll be out of your mind too. The difference is that when you heal, you really start to see these characters and how they're losing their mind, and you realize that you have to make peace with yourself and with your past and with people talking about you and gossiping about you, and you have to make peace with not being part of those communities that are filled with gangstalkers, I remember thinking, like, to myself, like, I wonder if, my cousin remembers, like, how badly, everyone treated me, and how he didn't defend me when he knew they were wrong, how he actually picked their side. And a part of me kind of felt like, well, it's your mom. I can't expect you to be mad at your mom. You're going to pick your mom's side even if she's wrong, because that's what we do. We pick people's sides sometimes even if they're wrong. And, he felt like he was obligated, the loyalty, right? And, eventually, because, he's a very feminine guy. He's not masculine at all. And he doesn't live a masculine life. And his sexuality is very questionable. And I don't think he's ever going to come out to the family. But I think his mom, I think everyone just kind of knows. They just don't say anything because everyone is fake as hell. And everyone is judgmental. And he realized that about his mom, how judgmental she is, and that she's never going to accept him. And, she always says certain things about him to, discredit him, and now that he's not talking to her, right? He's not talking to her anymore. And he's watching these narcissist videos. Hopefully he's watching this one, but he's watching these narcissist videos, and he's calling his mom a narcissist, which I already knew she was a narcissist since I was a kid because she's been messing with me that long. So now he's calling his mom a narcissist. Now he sees his mom the way I've always seen her. And he never even apologized to me. And I'm not seeking an apology from him. I don't seek an apology from him. But my whole thing to you guys is that he had the ability to say something to me, or to, at least close that chapter. He had the opportunity to do so. And let's just say he didn't take it. He couldn't see how when I was young and he pulled me away from the family in a sense, because the thing about my cousin that brought us close is that, my family is a very religious family, and as I got older, I started to question a lot of things. And my cousin was the one who started to preach to me about other religions. And he started to try to bring me to his church. And that's basically another reason why the family disapproved of him. And when he brought me to this church, I was, still a minor, and he was already like in his late 20s. So eventually, I was just, ever since I left the church, everything was just going bad, with my family. I was being judged all the time. When I would come back, they would just pick anything to gaslight me with. And what I noticed is that him as a man, he didn't receive that same treatment that I got from all the women in my family. He was getting treated well, I don't know if it's just because he's a man or because his narcissistic mother, that's his mom, right? But I know that he was accepted more than I was, and he never even tried to help me. And he didn't see anything wrong with what he did, that I was a minor when he did that, because that's kind of like where a lot of stuff just went left. Because even when I tried to come back to the church, it just like everyone looked at me different. So one thing that I do appreciate about him, the reason I can forgive him, without having to talk to him, and maybe he forgives me as well. Maybe we just forgive each other from a distance, and we just, he just can't talk to me. Some people just can't talk to you when they've done stuff to you. They don't know how you're going to react either, and they rather just avoid it, altogether. And one thing that I can honestly say that I appreciate about my journey, and my cousin pulling me out of, the religious cult and everyone not accepting me after, leaving, is that it brought me, every step I took in my life brought me closer to God and to who I am. Every little thing that happened to me, I don't look at it as an accident. So yeah, I got a lot of hate, but it brought me closer to knowing who God is. And I think that that's what the purpose of our journey is here. These gangstalkers, everyone turning on everyone thinking everyone's a narcissist. Everything is about bringing you closer to God and making you aware of the evils of this world that we don't have eyes to see. It gives us belief in the things that we cannot see. Some people don't believe in Jesus, God, and things because they're like, I can't see it, or they think they have faith until they've went through some evil things. Some people have never went through anything, and they claim to be good people, and they judge, sinners. They judge sinners until one day they fall. And then they realize that part of falling is knowing what light is. Part of being in the dark is appreciating that light, and not only appreciating it, but seeing it in others, So when you're with a narcissist and, you're thinking things aren't going to get worse, but they do, you're not seeing that this narcissistic person is a gossiper. They're speaking of evil all the time, and they're doing it right in front of you when they're talking to people on the phone, or when they're out in the streets with you and they're talking about people, or they're talking about, the people that are driving, and they're saying all these crazy remarks. I realize when I start thinking about the narcissist man talking to his brother all the time, and if he wasn't talking to his brother, I'm almost sure that when I wasn't around, he had other supplies and people that he would talk to. This is why, when they seek new supply, they spend so much time on the phone talking to the new supply. They'll tell you to download games. They start playing games with you on the phone. And while they're playing games with you on the phone, they're talking to someone on the phone. And if they're not talking to you, they're talking to someone else. And it seems like they're quiet people, that you come around them, they're quiet. They're quiet because they've already talked their ear off. They've already talked their ear off. They've already gossiped. So now they feel good about themselves, And I realized, that this narcissist every single day, as soon as he woke up and, he would automatically talk to that brother. And when they would talk, sometimes I would kind of like ease in, I guess, on the conversation and, not wanting to ease in, but, they're in front of me and they're talking. And a lot of the things that really they would talk about was other people, what other people were wearing, what bad things that happened to other people. Someone got cheated on, then talk about the person talk about the person that was cheating, saying that, body shaming them, talking about their exes, talking about, their exes being broke and their exes don't have anything, and their exes had dreams about being a nurse or a teacher and they never accomplished their dreams and they're weak. And the whole time the narcissist doesn't have anything, but they're literally talking about other people, and then they're telling themselves, yeah, those people are just, they just always have everything because everything comes easy to them. Everything comes easy to them. And I remember, the narcissist even telling someone that they had it easier than them. And that person literally told them, like, no, like, I actually was homeless till I got here, and I'm just literally thinking to myself, like, why does the narcissist have to put people down so bad to feel good about themselves? Like, it's ridiculous and delusional, because their world will be falling apart and you'll come to be a good Samaritan just to help them. And instead of them appreciating you, they're like, oh, I used you and I didn't really need you. I could have had someone else do this. Or, I know you think I'm dumb, or you think I'm this, or, I don't care if you think I'm dumb. I still have more than you, or I'm richer than you. Or they have this like just egocentric, personality where it just doesn't matter what they're going through, because in their mind, they believe they're smarter. And not only that, they feel like people are weak. They feel like people give up too easily. So to them, it's like, I don't give up easily. I'm always willing to con people. But the only reason they're willing to con people is because they have flying monkeys around them. So this is why on your journey, you just need to appreciate people who are there for you. They might not be perfect people. You can't expect anything out of people. Always know that the power of God uses people, and it might even use bad people. And some people are just there for different seasons, I do have a big point or a big purpose from sharing these stories and these experiences and the way the narcissist thinks. So when you leave the narcissist in your life, because, these people, like I said, they can be your family. They can be your coworkers. If you notice, your coworkers are always going to gossip, and then they're going to want you to gossip. But the only reason they want you to gossip is so that they can use the things you say against you. So when you don't gossip and you just listen to them, or you just laugh at them, you're admiring them. And at the same time, you're not allowing them to bring you into their world. You're just literally trying to give everyone respect. But that's why it's you have to be very, very careful dealing with these people in a work environment, because they want to be your friend, and it's not wrong. You can be a friend to these people, but you have to remember that all of these people want to be your friend, but they're going to all be wearing masks. So you can't just give your energy to these people. And, if you realize that when you don't really talk too much about your personal life, they want to know more about you, or they want to keep talking about themselves, or they really like you, and they're like, I don't know why I like them. They like you because you're not negative like them. You don't feel the need to talk about anyone like them. That's why they like you. And, sometimes, people just need to feel good about themselves, and that's understandable. Not everyone's a bad person, but what I do know is that when you're in a cult, like a job where everyone is trying to survive, for the sake of their family, hurt people will definitely hurt people. And that's just the cycle that we live in. This is, the human cycle is that most hurt people hurt other people. And this is how you stop generational curses. This is how you break that spell, is by understanding. So I hope that this video, you guys, was helpful. This is why you have to leave the narcissist before things get worse, because the narcissist will never stop spying on you. If they know or they can find a way back into your life, they will. And if they know that they can connect with someone who knows you and say or do things to hurt you, they will. And they want you to react so that you can contact them and say, hey, why are you talking about me? Hey, I haven't seen you in years. They want you to do that just to open that door up again. And, and things will only get worse. The narcissist comes in your life not to love you, to spy on you. Narcissists don't love. They'll show you nothing but hate. Someone who doesn't love you is going to be a hateful person. And if someone's showing you that they don't love you, they have no love for you, they don't support you, you can tell that they don't really care about, what's best for you. They're not very it just doesn't really matter to them. Then, take that serious, because chances are, things will only get worse dealing with that type of person. They'll start to disrespect you. They'll start lying to you. They'll cheat on you. Then they'll start stealing. Then they'll start, it just grows. It's like Pinocchio, the sin in them grows. And the longer you stay with them, it grows to the point where, they don't care about destroying you, because to them, it's like, I don't even care if you react and try to hurt me, because then I'm going to victimize myself. It's like you don't win. You just do not win with these type of people, because they're never going to give you what you want, and they know that. So to them, it's like, let's just keep the drama going. I have nothing better else to do. And to you, it's like, well, why would you want to waste your time like that? Why not just be happy? And they're like, I am happy. Look. And they'll show you how they act when they're pretending to be happy. And it's only to make you jealous. And it's like, you can't possibly be truly happy if you're just worried about making other people jealous. Like you're not making anyone jealous. Not everyone cares. Not everyone cares the way you think they do. The narcissist, you guys, they do not stop. They'll continue everything until it gets worse. So then that hate that they show you is the hate that they actually feel for themselves. When you see them hateful like that, that's really how they feel about themselves. And when you point it out to them, it's going to just aggravate them and make them even more angry. And it's going to give them a reason to blame you for that anger that they're feeling in that moment. This is why you must free yourself. They're basically like, kill yourself or kill me. Which one do you want to do? That's the option they're giving you. And you're like, I don't have to pick that option. I could just leave. And neither one of us will get hurt. Let me just leave. I might have a heartache because my heart's broken from this situation. But the choice the narcissist gives you, it's not a choice. It's about control. Control has a lot to do with them spying on you. If they're not around you, they're controlling you by you not moving on with your life. When they're seeing that you haven't moved on with their life, they're just automatically assuming that you're thinking about them. And the moment that you do move on with your life, they're going to be in a secret competition with you. And you're like, I don't even talk to you. I don't even care who you're with. I don't care if you have a child with someone, if you had a secret child behind my back. I don't care, because I'm that over you already. But the narcissist wants to definitely keep gossiping. They want a reaction. So the best thing that you can do to any narcissist and any people connected to the narcissist is to give them silence. Because when you give them silence, it's like, and they start gossiping about you, when they're done talking, they're even going to feel dumb themselves. Like, why am I talking about someone that we never see? Like, we're bored, and they're just like, okay, I can sleep now. I finally talked about something that doesn't make sense with today or my future. So do not waste any more time on these type of people, you guys. They just need someone to gossip about. They do this everywhere. They do it in the workplace. This is why they create communities and groups so that they can single people out, attack them, fire them. It's all a game, and, once you show weakness, they're going to try you. But the difference between who you are now and who you used to be is that you died, you came back, and now you realize that you have to fight back. That was your problem for the longest. You didn't want to fight back. And the narcissist was getting frustrated because they wanted you to fight back. But it's about how you fight. You have to learn how to fight and how to pick your battles. You need to be strategic. So I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. Things do get worse with the narcissist. They're always going to live in a world where they want to see you the way they left you to make themselves feel good. These people gossip until they die. Like, that's all they do, And if they can't get that gossip from you or the people closest to them, they'll seek strangers. They'll go stand in front of a store to talk to someone. That's how low vibrational they are. It's like they really need to talk negativity, about others. They're not looking for resources or, ways to help others or anything like that. They've already made it up in their mind that they don't empathize with anyone. They're on survival mode. All the time, now you understand that you have to, also try to survive, be in your survival mode, but you also know that you just don't go around eating everyone. You don't go around attacking everyone and sucking the blood and the life out of them. You have learned to gain natural resources through natural energy. That's something the narcissist can't do. They're filled with hate. They're filled with jealousy. Their perception of you will always be whatever they have made up in their minds. And even if they ever feel like, they're going through something that they did to you, they're not going to apologize to you. They're going to feel like it already happened. You should be over it. There's no point on contacting you. There's no point on apologizing, because they feel like God has forgiven them already. They're like, oh, I don't have to apologize. God has forgiven me already. And if you ever talk to them, or they hoover you, and try to get back with you, they'll do the same thing. They'll do everything they did to you. They'll do it again. It's in their program to do it to you again, if not worse. And if you bring up anything from the past, they're going to tell you, like, God already forgave me for that. They think they're God. They think, hey, if I've forgiven myself for it, I could have tried to kill you. And if I forgave myself for it the next day, then it's forgiven. That's how they look at it. So stay away from these people and protect your energy, you guys. If this video resides with you, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Do not forget to like. Do not forget to comment down below. And I'm sending you guys nothing but love, light, and peace your way. Talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.